Alrighty, the rankings came out. Now, before we get into the controversial decision to take out Florida State, an undefeated team, let's look at the other rankings before we get into that hot topic. Number 25, Kansas State finishes out. I think that's reasonable for them. 24, SMU. Now, we'll talk about Liberty. It comes difficult when you have Liberty and SMU, though. I think Liberty, worst schedule possible out there, but I guess they can give it to them. Clemson will. Clemson, Tennessee. I don't really have a problem with the rankings. NC State finished out number 18. Yikes. Louisville or Arizona and Oklahoma be good one. Ole Miss, Penn State. Fun matchups out there. Oregon playing Liberty, but our top four. But you know, though, there's Florida State there, who was undefeated. So these were the final rankings for the top six. Michigan number one, taking on Alabama, and then Washington taking on Texas. But Florida State's out. Now, in reality, though, you might think I'm crazy when I say this. This was a simple decision, though. If we look at who are your four best teams. Now, for a moment, let's forget about a 14 playoff bracket. Let's just say you're ranking your top six teams, okay? Let's be honest. It would be Florida State number 5 if we're ranking it off just the top six. Not this doesn't matter for a playoff, right? Without a doubt, I think Florida State is that number 5 team. Bama has that win. Bama got a win, so they deserve to go up, right? That's what I'm looking at here. Is not it's a no. Let's figure out playoff bracket for a second. Who are your four best teams? Who are you ranking your four best teams? It's Michigan, Washington, Texas, Alabama. Fortunately, Georgia lost, so they would not be among those teams, as they had lost to Bama. So yeah, that's how I take this in perspective. Now, there and if you the moment Texas was number 3, you kind of knew that Alabama was in because they would if Florida State was in, they would have been number 3. Alabama, the only so if Alabama was to get in, Texas and get in, you just couldn't do that because then you argue head win. Well, I hear people saying, "Well, Florida State, their season just doesn't matter." Yeah, it does. Jordan Travis might have got out, but the next when that happens, the next man needs to step up, and they didn't. I think they're on the third string quarterback. He only got like 57 passing yards, if I'm correct. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, I know you're on a third string quarterback, but that still is not excusable for how you play against Louisville. I know they're ranked number 15 or something, but it's still Louisville. I mean, you're supposedly you say you're a college football team that should be in there, right? But yet you beat Louisville only 16 to 6 and win the half 3-0. You own I mean Louisville Louisville just has one turnover. The stats are not they're just not good for Florida State. And they have their runner back still though, right? I mean, where's the running game? Louisville wasn't able to stop Kentucky's running game, so you should be able to do the same thing. That's my take on this. Is that no, Florida State showed us, and they struggled against the Florida team. All 4 of the teams they played or have a winning record, and I mean, no, you don't make the argument that their schedule doesn't matter. It does, and that's what I'm taking into. And stop bringing up the LSU win. Alabama has that win too, but even better. So I'm getting tired of that right there. You're like, what schedule SEC team? Well, I just told you they struggled against other teams. They struggled against teams they shouldn't have without Jordan Travis. The next man did not step up for for Florida State, and that's the argument I say here. It's a simple decision. They got the 4 best teams. Boom, right there. And I think the playoff now, because look here, you could have done this, Florida State and Alabama, but then Alabama just got the win against Georgia, number 1 team, and you leave an SEC team out. You could not see them doing that. Well, you just couldn't leave an SEC team out who's been the dominant powerhouse conference for the whole playoff, for this whole for the whole decade of the 20s right now, who has won it all SEC teams. You just couldn't do that. And then you could have done this if Florida. I said if Florida State was in it, they would be number 3. Texas would be there, and you couldn't do that because then that sparks up the controversy of head-to-head win. Either way, someone was going to get screwed, guys. I mean, it just happened to be Florida State, and I think they were the most justifiable one to basically get screwed out, right? Because you can't justify an SEC team not making it. You can't justify the head-to-head win, Texas and Alabama, right? No, there's no criteria saying you got to be undefeated. There isn't any, and so I think that's what we're looking at here, guys. Is it just Florida State happened to not meet the criteria, and that right there were your rankings. And I think, as I said, the playoff committee made the choice that I would agree with here. And if you disagree, then I mean you do. And I'm not here to really. I mean, I can change your opinion, but it's your opinion, guys. I mean, you can comment down below what you think, and I mean, maybe I can debate, but we can talk it out. But like and subscribe though if you enjoy this kind of content, and I'll keep you all posted, and we'll talk about some of the ball games probably throughout the week.